We're back today sharing more indoor plant tips. If you're new here, make sure to check out the cards in the top right for our last video on 7 easy indoor plants. Today we're going to talk about the Monstera, or the Swiss cheese plant, which is famous for its leaves. Fortunately for new plant lovers, Monstera is an incredibly easy houseplant to care for. There's much to love about this gorgeous plant. Look at these unique heart-shaped leaves, so big, so lustrous, they'll add a jungle vibe into your home. Monstera is native to Mexico and Central America. As we mentioned, the leaves are large and they are deeply lobed. You have to allow plenty of room for rapid growth because the Monstera can grow over 6 feet tall and several feet wide, and it grows really quickly. Larger plants may need stakes to support the stem. Individual leaves, such as this one, in a vase of water, are frequently displayed as designer accents. Taking care of the Monstera is easy once you know what to do. Starting at the bottom, let's look at the pot. Check the plant container for drainage holes. No hole means that the plant is at risk for root rot if left in standing water. With those planters, either water the plant less and monitor the soil moisture, or you could repot the plant into a pot that has adequate drainage holes. When to water is an equally important question. Monsteras are somewhat drought tolerant, so be sure to water when the soil is dry. You can check the soil with a soil tester, or you can use your pinky. Insert your pinky finger into the soil to the depth of about 1 to 2 inches. You should be able to tell whether the soil is wet or dry. If it's wet, make sure the plant's not sitting in water. If the soil's dry, and this plant is dry, you'll need to water. Make sure you water thoroughly. Make sure you water the soil and not the plant stem. Water it completely and allow the water to drain out the bottom of the container, then discard the excess water. If you notice that your plants aren't thriving despite proper watering and lighting, you might try adding nutrients through fertilizer. You should fertilize your Monstera once a month throughout the spring and summer. You can purchase spikes or pellets for slow-release nutrition. You can apply a ready-to-use pump formulation, or you can use water-soluble fertilizers that are applied at half strength every other watering. When it's time to repot the Monstera, be sure to use an indoor potting mix that does not contain bark or compost, which can attract pests. Select a container 2 inches larger than the current size. Remove the plant from the current container by holding the base of the plant and carefully wrapping the foliage on huge plants. Wiggle the roots to stimulate growth. Trim any dead or unhealthy matter from the Monstera, then fill the container with soil to the neck level on the plant. If you've propagated your plant, take your leaf or remove the plant from the current container by holding the base of the plant. Make sure to carefully wrap the foliage on larger plants. Wiggle the roots to stimulate growth. Trim any dead or unhealthy matter from the Monstera and fill the container with soil to the neck level on the plant. Monstera likes bright, indirect light. Strong sunlight will scorch the leaves of the Monstera plant. Consider using a sheer curtain or moving it away from the direct sunlight when placing it near a window with southern or western exposures. Monstera will adapt to moderate light conditions. Plants that live in low light will not develop as many leaf perforations and will stretch to find more light. Remember to rotate your Monstera weekly so the plant will grow evenly. If one side of the plant receives more light than the other, it may grow top-heavy towards that side. Most indoor plants have warm temperature requirements since they're naturally tropical. Temperatures below 45 degrees Fahrenheit are not recommended. Most indoor plants enjoy humidity levels of 50 to 75%. Monstera plants enjoy higher humidity conditions. Low humidity tends to create brown patches on the tips of plants or side of leaves. Increase the humidity by spritzing the plant several times a week with water or placing the plant over a gravel tray filled with water. Drafts may affect some plants since the moving air may be colder than the plant can tolerate. Make sure your Monstera plant does not live near heating vents in the winter, as the heat and low humidity will harm the leaves. Like everything else in your home, plants can get dusty. The huge leaves of the Monstera are ideal spots for dust to gather. If you notice the leaves get dusty or dirty, gently wipe the leaves with a damp cloth or use a leaf shine product to add luster to the leaves while keeping the plant clean. Although the only diseases your Monstera will likely get are from long care, Monstera plants are susceptible to pests, but you can prevent some of the challenges facing Monstera and increase their odds for survival. This is especially important in winter during the heating period when pests are looking for moisture from leaves, like the Swiss cheese plant, which can become infested with spider mites and scale insects. Scale insects are small and brown. You might also notice white sticky spots on the leaves. The most effective method is to rid your plant of these pests using neem oil or special pest control sprays. You can find these online or at your local Home Depot store. Spider mites form a web that spreads on the bottom of the leaves. Remove any of the leaves that are infested with sterile pruners. Wash the leaves with lukewarm water. And finally, you can use miticides, which use natural ingredients to kill spider mites, but leave the plant and other harmless insects unharmed. Inspecting your plants regularly when watering and monitoring in between will allow you to stop any infestation early on. Quarantine any plants under treatment and monitor other nearby plants for infestation. In nature, the Monstera uses aerial roots to cling to large trees as it grows upward through the rainforest canopy. In your home, the aerial roots have nothing to attach to. Consider using a dowel, stake, or trellis to provide support for the plant and as a point of contact for the roots to attach. While the Monstera plant flowers and produces fruit in its natural habitat, your plant will probably not develop flowers in your home. Be sure to spend time each week tending to your Monstera plant by watering and pruning, as well as carefully inspecting for unwanted pests. Displaying your Monstera plant can be as exciting as purchasing them. Larger spaces may dictate the need for a larger plant for proper proportion. One single Monstera can take up a large amount of space, making it a definite focal point in the room. All of the products we used in this video can be found in the description below, or make sure to check out the cards to shop and learn more. Comment below with any questions at all. We're here to help answer your questions. Watch the rest of our series and subscribe to our channel. Learn more indoor gardening tips at homedepot.com.